How's it going, folks, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy lowtierhero, and in today's counter guide we're going to be looking at Goblin Biker. The Goblin Biker deck emerges as a formidable contender within the rogue meta, masterfully leveraging XYZ special summons to extend plays remarkably through a synergy of diverse engines. Those engines that pair amazingly well with Goblin Biker are the Punk, Gold Pride, and Speedroid. Its core strategy revolves around mass summoning goblin monsters, not solely through their summoning capabilities, but also by utilizing an effect and a unique mechanic that is brand new to the Yu-Gi-Oh card game. This goblin monster effect allows them to detach one XYZ material from any XYZ monster on the field, belonging to either player. So this deck already has a huge upper hand against decks like Exosister and Pearly, even Kashtira as well. If you are aware of how Phantom Knights plays, where all they do is spam special summon and special summon like 20 times in one turn, this is basically the same, but it feels a little bit more modern and more streamlined and less clunky than Phantom Knights. And it has a lot less weaknesses. With Phantom Knights, its super polymerization will literally decimate its board. With this deck, not even close, because it has different attributes. The unpredictability and unique strategy and an amazing new mechanic for this Goblin Biker deck can catch unprepared opponents off guard, making it crucial to be familiar with them. Having countermeasures and techs ready in your main or side deck ensures you're left not vulnerable against this new strategy. So we are here to showcase how we can beat the Goblin Biker deck, and we're going to be covering the Punk version, the Gold Pride version, and the versions with the Speedroid package. And as you already know, in these guides we delve into strategic timings for utilizing cards like Ash, Infinite Impermanence, and Max C. And additionally, considering that Max C remains a legal and potent option in Master Duel, unlike in the current TCG meta, we still want to include it so that this can be an overall cover of the Goblin Biker deck in the TCG and eventually for the Master Duel card game. If you find this video insightful as you watch through it and are open to enhancing your gameplay and more counter strategies, I encourage you to explore the other guides available on my channel. And if you appreciate the content, don't hesitate to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Your support greatly assists in boosting my visibility through the YouTube algorithm, enabling me to bring you even more valuable content to all players. Kicking off our strategic deep dive, let's tackle the optimal use of Max C, Ash, and Infinite Impermanence. And remember, here with me when we talk about Infinite Impermanence, we are also encompassing Ghost Mourner, Effect Veiler, and any other card capable of negating or interrupting a monster's effect activation and resolution. Alright, so let's go ahead and begin. We'll start off with Max C. Max C timing. The most straightforward strategy with Max C is to activate it during the opponent's draw phase or standby phase. This timing is crucial to avoid Triple Tactics Talents, which is a card that remains popular in both the TCG and Master Duel. Given the TCG's influence on Master Duel's meta, it's reasonable to anticipate TTT's continued prevalence for when Goblin Biker do make their appearance on Master Duel. For those hesitant to activate Max C without a clear trigger, however, consider waiting for the opponent to special summon Speedroid Taketomberg or Speedroid Terratop, or the normal summon of Ziamin or Tour Guide from the Underworld. Activating Max C in response to these moves forces the opponent into a dilemma. Do they halt their turn early or proceed and potentially give you some significant pluses? When to Ash and when to Imperm. Your first target is going to be Tour Guide of the Underworld. Targeting Tour Guide with Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring or Infinite Impermanence is a strategic move to disrupt a key combo sequence in decks that utilize it as a primary starter and extender. Here's a closer examination of the importance of this move. The sequence typically unfolds as follows. Normal summon the Tour Guide. Activate its effect to special summon a goblin monster, laying the groundwork for an XYZ summon. XYZ summon into Gabanga. This is a crucial boss monster within its strategy. Activate Gabanga's effect, leading to searching and adding Charger. Activating Charger's effect from hand to detach one material from Gabanga. Charger's summon utilizes its effect to detach a monster from Gabanga for its special summon, followed by its own effect to search for a goblin spell trap card. Typically, it's going to be Grand Entrance. And the card searched for by Charger allows for the addition of another goblin card, which can then activate from the hand to detach the last material from Gabanga for its special summon. This meticulously crafted secret significantly boosts a player's board presence, often culminating in a formidable lineup that includes Barone, Utopic Future Dragon, and potentially another XYZ. How the heck are they going to do that? Because when they summon Tour Guide, they're going to have a bunch of other extenders in hand. The next two cards that we want to look at are going to be Emergency Teleport and Z Amin. I put these cards both as number 2 because addressing Emergency Teleport and Z Amin is pivotal in disrupting the opponent's strategy, mirroring the importance of countering Tour Guide from the underworld. As Z Amin serves as a key starter alongside or in lieu of Tour Guide, understanding and disrupting its combo pathways is essential for maintaining control. Here's an in-depth look at the sequence involving Z Amin and Emergency Teleport and why it's crucial to disrupt. For starters, Emergency Teleport is going to bring out the Z Amin, so preventing the Z Amin is going to be top notch. If you don't stop the Emergency Teleport, it'll bring out Z Amin and then Z Amin is going to get cracked. Now, if they don't have Emergency Teleport and they just normal summon the Z Amin, upon its summon, Z Amin's effect to search for Foxy Tunes sets the stage for a series of plays that can quickly escalate the opponent's board presence. Foxy Tunes' effect is pretty cracked. Followed by its effect to special summon Deer Note to the field, they'll link summon into Masquerena and bring back the Z Amin to the field through Deer Note's Grave effect, and will have additional extenders still in hand and reliance on goblins to further extend and repeat the initial combo. As Gabonga will make its entrance, it is always its first main XYZ monster. At number 3, we've got their big boss monster. Big Gabonga is crucial in understanding how to effectively counter this strategy, especially given its reliance on level 3 extenders. The inclusion of Speedroid and Gold Pride engines, particularly through Tomberg and Teratop, allows the deck to effectively transition into Big Gabonga quickly and almost effortless. Big Gabonga sets the stage for a series of impactful plays. Those are my 4 options on which cards you should be hitting against the Goblin Biker deck with Infinite Impermanence and Ash. But before we delve deeper, it's crucial to acknowledge the robustness and adaptability of the Goblin Biker deck. Its strength lies not just in its core strategy, but also in the wealth of extenders available within its arsenal. This makes the deck particularly resilient, capable of forging through common disruptions like Ash and Infinite Impermanence. Especially in the hands of an experienced player with a strong hand, they can literally play through 2 disruptions. You would need to hit them at 3 disruptions in order to literally stop them and keep them from going into XYZ shenanigans and ending on XYZ and synchro based boards. Countering a deck as resilient as Goblin Biker, capable of navigating 2 disruptions, I've compiled a list of top 5 direct counters that are ranked and detailed with explanations on their application and justification for their inclusion in your strategy. So let's go ahead and talk about the top 5 counters against the Goblin Biker deck. Counter number 1, and the best counter for the strategy, is going to be Droll Lockbird. The application for Droll Lockbird is ideally used right after your opponent activates Gabonga's effect, especially if they incorporate the Gold Pride package into their deck. Droll Lockbird is a nuclear option against decks reliant on search strategies. Once Gabonga attempts to search for Charger, activating Droll Lockbird effectively halts all further searches during the turn. This includes Charger search for Grand Entrance, Chariot carry search for Better Luck Next Time, and subsequently Better Luck Next Time search for Leon, making Droll Lockbird an essential countermeasure. The next card on our list at number 2 is going to be Nibiru, the Primal Being. This is activated after the opponent's 5th summon, typically at a critical moment when XYZ Armor Torpedo is brought out to the board or a similar key monster that is on the board. Nibiru serves as a potent counter to the deck that heavily relies on multiple special summons to establish their board, which is a hallmark of the Goblin Biker strategy. It's crucial to note that the Goblin Biker deck may aim to bring out formidable monsters like Barone and Utopic Future Dragon that could potentially negate or survive the effect of Nibiru. So honestly, the moment that you see XYZ Armor Torpedo or anything before a Utopic or the summon of a tuner, you literally just trigger the Nibiru. Don't let them synchro, don't let them rank up. The 3rd and 4th options are Dimensional Barrier and Spellbound. These are obviously going to be used during your turn or during their turn, the use of Spellbound, specifically after determining the nature of their playstyle. Will they go into synchros or will they go into XYZs? You'll be able to tell depending on how they set up their lines. If you don't see a tuner coming out, just call the XYZ. If you don't see an XYZ coming out, just call the synchro. However, given the Goblin Biker strategy, which is heavy reliance on XYZ, your number 1 call out is going to be XYZ. At number 5, we've got Dimension Shifter. This card is going to be activated the minute that you see that you're playing against Goblin Biker, or just shotgun it during the draw phase or the standby phase to avoid the triple tactics talents. This card is just so darn good in the meta. I don't really like adding Dimensional Shifter into the counter guide. The reason being is because it's just such a solid card and it just destroys everything currently in the meta as well. So I've got another card that I wanted to include. Typically I only do 5, but this time around I'm going to go ahead and do 6. Adding to the list of effective counters against the Goblin Biker deck, we've got Triple Tactics Talent. Talents, which emerges as versatile and impactful. This is going to be utilized in the activation of any sort of monster because their deck is so resilient and reactive. You've got Barone, you've got Utopic Future Dragon, you've got any other XYZ that they may have on board, and anything really that's going to trigger during your turn. Hopefully it's done during the main phase 1. As we conclude the list of direct counters, it's important to remember that the effectiveness of these counters can vary based on the evolving meta, your specific deck build, and your playstyle. The selection and integration of these counters into your strategy should be done with consideration of how they complement your overall game plan and synergize in the deck. Now let's go ahead and dive into the arsenal of board breakers. We've got Deck Devastation Virus. This deck is amazing. If you are able to summon a dark monster with 2000 attack or more, or you run dark monsters with 2000 attack or more, dude, this thing is going to just decimate the Goblin Biker deck, because the Goblin Biker deck is heavily reliant on key small monsters like Merciless, Captain Carry, Tour Guide, and Ziamin, and this deck becomes highly vulnerable to Deck Devastation Virus. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. This card is similar to Deck Devastation. If you're able to meet the criteria for Deck Devastation, you should be able to meet the criteria for Eradicator Epidemic Virus. The deck relies on a lot of spells and a lot of monsters and about maybe 3 to 5 traps, so calling out spells is a great way to derail and slow them down. Evenly Matched, just a great card overall. This strategy, aside from Barone, has like absolutely no option or response to an Evenly Matched. Forbidden Droplet and Dark Ruler No More. Send a monster with Forbidden Droplet and basically pseudo Dark Ruler No More with a cut in half attack, which the reduction of the attack of the negated monsters is amazing because you'll just run over it and do 5 points damage. And finally, of course, we've got the Kaijus, the Lava Golem, the Kurikara, and the Sphere Mode. You already know that what these cards do, how these cards are applied to the overall meta, so no explanation is needed. Just know that these are your safety nets, and it's always a good thing to have one of these cards in your deck. Finally, we made it to the end of the counter guide. Floodgates. Floodgates play a crucial role. We already know this, so let's take a look at some powerful Floodgate options that can be instrumental in countering the Goblin Biker deck, among others within the TCG and potentially in the Master Duel format. Skill Drain goes in match Rivalry of the Warlords, one of the top and best counters and floodgates for any sort of meta deck. The only bad thing about Goes in Match and Rivalry is that they're both at 1, and Skill Drain, while really good card, when you play against Rescue Ace, Fire King, and the new Snake Eyes, Skill Drain, while effective, will just leave them with some huge beaters. I don't know if you'll be able to run over some of these beaters, but Skill Drain, effective, but you need to just make sure you utilize it against the right opponents. Deck Lockdown, similar to Droll and Lockbird, this will stay on board and prevent anybody from searching for about 2 turns. Macrocosmos and Dimensional Fissure, similar to Dimension Shifter, this thing will just destroy the Goblin Biker deck as it relies on special summoning a lot of monsters from their grave and utilizing graveyard effects. Summon Limit, limiting both players to just 2 summons per turn, can drastically slow down the Goblin Biker's deck's playstyle. And the last card is Necro Valley, shuts down the entire graveyard, so you can't special from the graveyard, but you still can activate effects from the graveyard, so this one's kind of a hit or miss depending on what you're playing and how you can effectively utilize Necro Valley. These Floodgate options offer a strategic breath of new life to help you effectively counter the Goblin Biker deck. And that wraps up our comprehensive guide to countering the Goblin Biker strategy in the TCG and eventually in the Master Duel format. I hope and trust this guide will serve you as a valuable resource for you to consult whenever you're gearing up for battle against this formidable rogue strategy. Remember, the world of TCG and Master Duel is constantly evolving, and so are the strategies within it. If you believe I've overlooked any text or any key options for disruption, or you've discovered additional counters that could enhance this guide, please don't hesitate to share your insights in the comments below and share the wealth with me and any other Yu-Gi-Oh player. Your support helps spread valuable strategies and keeps our community informed and competitive. And remember, never let a rogue deck catch you off guard. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and until next time, duelists, keep your strategies sharp and your counters ready. Let's take on the meta together and emerge victorious.